which is a very, very huge advantage. It's a very, very strong thing to have happen for your team.
I have to admit, in looking at this match so far, it really shows that Ionia has something to prove. Noxus really needs to just calm down, execute their game plan, and stabilize this map.
Absolutely. So, you know, their entire plan that they've been enacting from day one, or really, you know, minute one of this match, has been controlling the map, and that's shown in every situation we've seen so far. The very first situation where Sion's gank on Ashe did nothing. Then right after Udyr's gank on Misfortune was just perfect and got them the very first kill of the game, and even gave the kill to Frost's Ashe, which is just very, very powerful to give physical damage dealing champions those kills early on. Gold is so useful in these champions in these games. But then afterwards, we just saw so much ward control. We can see still that if we turn the fog of war back off, they have a ward that's now useless as Dragon has died, but they're only warding to just watch their lane. Bottom lane has a ward and top lane has a ward, but that's it. They see nothing else on the map at all. We scroll back out and we see there's wards more towards the middle for the Ionian team. They can see passageways into and out of the jungle, and they used to have just all of the river warded, and they actually had what some summoners call a counter ward, a ward that can see invisibility they had dropped earlier to actually kill off the wards that that Noxus had dropped to watch those areas. So they've been much more apt to try to control vision of the map, and that's been really, really paying off for them. That's really the one thing that's been giving them such great power this game.
Needless to say, there is so much at stake right now involved in this particular match. Of particular note, should Ionia win this match, the resolution, according to the League of Legends, will be that Ionia will have their 3 provinces freed from Noxian control, and they will be restored to the rightful ownership of Ionia. Should Noxus win, Noxus will have permanent ownership over the 3 territories, and in fact, Ionia must yield certain governmental rights to Noxus within the Ionian seat of government. So a lot is on the line here.
Oh, and there we go. They are now diving onto this Vladimir. I believe he's already using Sanguine Pool. Garson Bug going to pick up another kill. He's now on a rampage. That is a 4-0 Udyr doing such great things. That is just phenomenal play, and actually he's assisted or killed every single champion so far. Every single death that Noxus has suffered has been partially at the hands of Guardman Bob playing Udyr, and that is just, again, this is what I was talking about earlier. This powerful jungle that summoners commonly employ, whether they're limited by champion choices or not, is proving so very powerful. Whereas Edwy's Sion is not able to quite reach that same level of dominance.
Another interesting note about that, Guardsman Bob and Poison Iden are summoners who typically cooperate with each other. They actually participate in matches together, but they found themselves at irreconcilable differences about the state of affairs in Ionia, and now they are against each other.
Yes, indeed. So even longtime friends just partaking in this political debate and just choosing sides. And now Guardsman Bob is back, and he has jumped onto Edwy, and Edwy is being slowed by the plus of the Lower Elder. And there comes Eclipse into that fight as well. Not really necessary, trying to get a piece of that action, and actually stealing the kill away from Guardsman Bob.
Wow.
Which had to be intentional, but I think it's hilarious. That's dedication to yourself right there.
Perhaps the personal matches are in order, but I think they're going to have to take they're going to have to take some time to sort things out on their own for sure.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, this bottom lane, of course, both players still content to level their champions up and continue to just try to gain in power. They don't really feel confident roaming across the map and really causing things to happen. It's almost entirely been Guardsman Bob and Edwy, the summoners, who have been trying to instigate most of the action. Unfortunately for Edwy's Sion, Summoner Flash, specifically from Frost, has been just completely denying any of those combat attempts. And he's just gaining in power so steadily now. Has a lot of attack damage on that bow of his. Will be tossing out extremely powerful arrows, and that's just going to continue to cause significant troubles for the Noxian team. We see a bit of a lull in the action now, as the players are sort of grouping back near those towers and trying to keep their resources alive, their map control somewhat dwindling now as the wards have timed out entirely for the Noxian team and finally put only one ward down right now. So they have very little vision of the map. Have finally dropped a new one right there, and that is a pink ward. That is a vision ward, which means that yes, they are going to attempt to wrest control of the dragon right now. This ward will see the other one and Noxus will try to group up to take that advantage of vision over, and that is very, very smart for them. They have timed the respawn of this ancient dragon, and they will do what they can to equalize that score there. But this is looking so good for Ionia right now. Their players are actually more apt to prepare for this. They're very nearby. They're ready for this fight. The exception actually now, Udyr's actually fallen back. He's grabbed some items to try to make himself more powerful for the coming fight, and that is a lot of items. That is a very powerful Udyr. But right now he's out of position for the next fight. If Noxus really went for this, they could actually force a 5v4 fight and possibly take over the dragon. But I don't believe they know this has happened, as again, they're ward control.
They may be rattled at this point.
Yeah, they're very afraid of their opponents right now. They know if they get into a fight short-handed, they could possibly lose in the game entirely. And so they're very afraid of what could happen. But you can see the Ionians just don't care. They're just going for it entirely. They know they're more powerful than the Noxians. They're just going for this dragon right away. Guardsman Bob should have some of this fight ready to help his Udyr take down this dragon. And you can see the Noxians just not yet ready to jump in here. And they're just grouping around the various sides. They pull the dragon out of range of any of this initiation. And there we go. They have taken the dragon down. There's still 0 dragons for Noxus. But Bren just by himself getting completely dropped down. No teammates helping him whatsoever. Just all from the back. I don't know why they didn't coordinate that better. But he was by himself getting himself killed.
That may have been a costly blunder for Noxus in that case.
That was just silly, I have to admit. That was not well coordinated for the Noxian team. I think they've just become overconfident from the victory last time.
Perhaps. So the rattled at the absolute match.
Oh, that was a nice Dark Binding. Let's see if they can pick this up. She's been healed. All right, Udyr has already been healed by Soraka. It looks like he will just escape that tower as he has 246 armor with all the items and buffs combined. That is a very, very tanky man-bear Phoenix Tiger. That is hard to say, by the way.
You did it quite well.
Thank you. And Turtle. Well. And Turtle. I apologize for missing the Turtle out there. But the man bear right now going to take down this golem, turning into a man phoenix, and doing what he can to give himself this blessing of the ancient golem for bonus experience and all of that. Now, one tower has finally slain. The first tower of the game, or turret I should say, has been slain. Eclipse playing Kennen, doing a very good job there. Is taking down that turret. So that is now 2 dragons, 1 turret, and a whopping 8 champion kill advantage for Ionia. This is going so well for them. And now, a couple things to state, though, is Ashe is a very strong character, but is somewhat unsafe. Her movement speed is low, her range is high, but she has no strong way of escaping from battles, and she doesn't have a very consistent, strong support champion that can actually properly babysit her. Now, Soraka can heal Ashe consistently, and that is very powerful, but is not the kind of champion who can just instantly nullify 1,000 damage and push back all opponents. So Ashe can be killed no matter how powerful she is, can always be killed by the Noxian team if the positioning is ever incorrect. Meanwhile, Misfortune is a little bit safer, has more movement speed, has a little bit more range in some of her abilities, and that is very powerful.
We've seen that the jungle game has been dominated pretty heavily by Ionia in this match, and perhaps one of the causes of this is the absence of Warwick. Warwick being one of Noxus's high priority champions to have on their side, but unfortunately, if you've been keeping up with Eternal Justice, Warwick just recently experienced quite an ordeal where he was actually kidnapped by a person who remains still at large at this time, and he was subjected to torture and some amount of mind-altering, I guess poisons or chemicals. It's unclear as to what it is. His good friend Singed was able to sort of free him from that, but he was definitely not in shape to participate in this match, and that may be hurting them pretty badly right now.
Also, on that subject, many summoners have asked why Urgot and Swain have not made their appearances for the Noxian team either.
Swain actually was recently promoted into the high command, and this is a rather momentous event for him, and he actually needed to be away from the fields of justice for a little while he secured some of the formalities and ceremonies. There are some rumors that there may be varying opinions in the high command about his participation in these things. Also, I mean, if we look back, right before the invasion of Ionia, he was the master tactician of Noxus, and he was pretty much flawless in his performance, but he was suddenly decommissioned right before the invasion took place, and was pretty much not heard from again until just recently when he joined the League. So quite a bit of speculation has been occurring about, looks like we've got some action.
Here we go, and Amumu is the center of potential for us, getting dropped down. The Morgana will fall. That is another kill for the Ionian team. They're now trying to chase down on Cyan. It looks like Cyan is in very bad shape, and he will drop down as well. That is now 10-0, the score for Ionia, and they are grouped up to push down to this bottom lane very, very powerfully. They have now walked across Vladimir, and this could be very scary for them, as Udyr is jumping all the way in, and they're going to drop down whom they can. And there is Friend in the middle of everything with his Singe, and that is a lot of damage. Amumu landing the bandage toss, and yes, Singe will go down. Vladimir is still standing alone now without anyone else to help him. There's the Hemo Plague, and that is some damage output, but looks like the Ionians are still safe, and now Kennen has come across to help us out as well. And oh no, Vladimir has been taken down from behind by Frost and Eclipse, and now it's just Roku playing Misfortune, trying to hold alive for the Ionians. This is a 7,000 armor Udyr versus taking any damage.
Wow, it's definitely looking like a pretty one-sided match. I have to say, this cannot be what Noxus was looking for at all.
It's certainly, well, at least for, I guess, for the sake of the match, it's taking longer than the previous one did. But Noxus is definitely, they have to step up their game. They have to respond, but it may be too late at this point.
So as we were saying, anyhow, yes, Swain was absent, and it could be in part due to the fact that he has obligations that he must fulfill as with his new political status. It could also be that there's some things cooking in Noxus which have prevented him from being here. As far as Urgot goes, Urgot was actually, unfortunately, he sustained some damage in a recent match and needed to be in for repairs. And so he is currently with Zon Technicians and also unavailable for this match. So a lot of Noxus's power players just being perhaps even suspiciously unavailable to participate.
So my question to you, Phreak, is when do you think people will start going for Baron Nashor at this point?
I think,
or is that even a necessity at this point with the domination that's been going on?
I don't know if it's a necessity. So Baron Nashor is a risk. If you go for it, you're convincing yourselves that your opponents will not find it or find your plans, and if they do, they will not be able to react to that in time or sufficiently. So if all of the Ionians are shown to be bottom, the Noxians can maybe go for Baron Nashor and give up a tower or two, but it's worth it. In this case, Ionia really has no reason to take down Baron Nashor. They've been winning every team fight consistently. They've been consistently controlling the Dragon as well. And again, we just see the entire Ionian lineup just prepared for Dragon immediately. The Noxians still trying to run across the map to group up to this. And oh no, Poison Iden has disconnected from the game. The Vladimir will be going back to the Summoner platform. I have no idea what happened to him just now. And so hopefully the Ionians will not capitalize on this too hard. As much as they are winning, they shouldn't be capitalizing.
There's a problem with the summoning orb or something along those lines. We'll get to the bottom of it immediately.
Yeah, so in the meantime, the Ionians will just simply grab as many of these objectives around the map, these safe objectives, the Lizard Elder, the Ancient Golem, and powering up Frost's Ash, which is a very wise choice. Generally, these long-range physical carries are the right choices to empower during these games.
League officials are, as we speak, trying to find out what the situation with Poison Iden is right now and decide if action needs to be taken.
I saw comments. We'll have a report on that. We'll have a report on it fairly soon.
Okay. And yes, we see the exact same thing happening here as Roku has been donated the Blessing of the Lizard Elder on the Noxian team. So both teams having the same sort of ideas. The Ancient Golem has respawned as well, so we'll see who on Nox will try to take that buff away for themselves. In the meantime, we just see a very, very powerful Ashe being played by Frost. These very high-profile items, Infinity Edge, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Elixir of Agility, red and blue buff. This is a very, very deadly champions. Our spies have incapacitated your summoners, says Poroku. Uh-oh. A little bit of misdealings potentially from the Ionians.
A lot of speculation going into this match that the champions selected for the Noxian team were quite a bit stronger than the champions available to the